Hello, beautiful humans. Thank you for tuning in. We are here for another episode of the Ground Man Live. My name is Braden Stockfish, and I'm joined today yet again with my beautiful friend Dave.
What's up?
um, yeah, thanks for tuning in. Excited. I just got back from a 10-day Vipassana retreat, silent meditation retreat, and yeah, we wanted to hop on the mic and have a little conversation. I actually want to kick things off. I wrote a letter here to men. I'm going to share this on my social networks, and I wanted to start off the podcast and kick off our conversation here by reading it. So, dear men, if you follow me, please take a few minutes of your time to read or listen to this. I just got back from a 10-day seminar where I sat in complete silence the entire time. No phone, no talking, no eye contact, no gestures or body language, no distractions whatsoever. Just me, my breath, the sensations of my body, and the reality of my own mind. Sounds fun, doesn't it? It was one of the most challenging experiences of my life, and as a result, also one of the most powerful and rewarding experiences of my life. Something struck me though. I noticed it when I signed up for the course, and I spoke with my teacher about it there, and he confirmed for me what I noticed. He informed me that when a new program date opens for the registration, they open the registration portal at 6 a.m. By 6:30 a.m. every single time, the 75 women spots are completely full and the 50 available spots on the waiting list within 30 minutes. He told me that if they only allowed women at the center, they could fill the whole center for every single retreat for the entire year, which is over 20 retreats a year. On the other hand, this would not be the case for men. The men's spots often take months to fill up, and sometimes they don't fill up at all. And as someone who's deeply involved in men's work, that makes me really sad. Sad and also curious as to why. Because I hear so many men saying that they want more discipline, more strength, more peace in their lives, yet so many men seem unwilling to actually sit with themselves long enough to cultivate it. And if sitting in meditative silence for 10 hours per day for 10 days isn't a masculine practice, I really don't know what is. But this isn't the case just for Vipassana meditation, which is the name of the practice that I just learned. I see this everywhere in the healing space. Men are hurting quietly. Men are avoiding stillness, avoiding truth, avoiding feelings, avoiding themselves completely. And it's not because men are weak. I think it's because many of us were never taught how to actually be with ourselves. So instead, we distract, we numb, we grind, we stay busy, we keep moving, and slowly but surely we lose connection to what is actually happening inside of us. And I know this firsthand because I lived it. I built the version of success I was told to. By my mid 20s, I was making six figures and crushing it in the workplace. I was wearing all the fancy suits, schmoozing clients, but underneath it all, I was empty. Even though it looked like I was crushing it on the inside, I was addicted to drugs, alcohol, and sex. I was disconnected from my body and I was emotionally numb. That's all I knew, and I know that it's hard to break out of what is known. It's hard to admit something is wrong and to do something about it. I get it. I resisted my own life for many years. I had to lose my job, my license, ruin many relationships, and almost lose my life in order to wake up. And now we are seeing the symptoms of this everywhere: isolation, addiction, depression, anxiety, disconnection, broken relationships. Men are completely lost inside of their own lives. Even Health Canada and the Government of Canada are openly acknowledging the growing crisis in men's and boys' mental health, isolation, and well being now. And when the government acknowledges something publicly, you know that we're at least a decade behind. So I'm sounding the bells here for you, my brothers, in hopes that you don't have to wait to get to that point in your own life. Let this be your sign. I know you already have others in your life pointing you, other signs in your life pointing you towards change. Let this be the last one that you ignore. Please, hear me when I say this. You do not need to wait until your life falls apart to begin looking inward. We cannot keep hiding from ourselves. We cannot keep saying we're too busy. Whatever you are busy with, it is not more important than this. The world needs us to do this work. Women need us to do this work. Children need us to do this work. Your brothers need you to do this work. Future generations need you to do this work. And you yourself need you to do this work. The world is desperate for men willing to face themselves honestly and do something about what they see, and no one can do that work for you. People will celebrate you for doing it, though. And I'm not saying you need to go and do a 10-day silent retreat, although I definitely do recommend it. But you do need to start somewhere. Get into therapy, start a meditation practice, work on your breath, do a men's work weekend or join a men's group in your area. Start journaling, look at shadow work, do yoga, have honest conversations with people in your life, build community, do something. Because this old model is breaking. The model where men carry everything alone, where we suppress emotion and call it strength, where we grind ourselves into the ground and try to prove our worth. That path is not leading us somewhere beautiful. I think man up used to mean suppress your emotions and get to work. But now I think man up means having the courage and the strength to face your reality and do something about what you see. To breathe, feel, tell the truth, ask for help, take responsibility for your life, and stop hiding. That is real courage. That is real strength. Not hiding from life, but turning towards it and facing it head on. And it becomes a lot less intimidating when we stand shoulder to shoulder and do it together. I know that you see the signs in your life pointing you towards change, and I know that it feels confusing and you don't know how you're going to do it. But that's a part of the journey, taking that first leap into the unknown. In order to create something different, we need to do different. And it's more than time for something different. It's time to step up. I'm here on the other side. I'm extending my hand to support you in whatever way I can. And if not myself directly, I can be a bridge to the many sources of support that are out there. So please lean in, reach out, talk to someone, start somewhere. You do not need to walk this path alone. A new world is being born, and we need you to be part of building the beauty in it rather than resisting it. I love you. Signed, Braden, a man who cares deeply about himself, the people around him, this world, and the future we are creating together. That was longer than I expected.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Thanks for taking the time for me to do that.
Also, I didn't get to hear that, so I was just like, oh yeah, that's good, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks. Yeah, that's what I came back feeling. It's like, wow, yeah, I need to sound this a little more because it's important work. Curious what came up for you as you heard that, other than the resounding hell yeah.
There was definitely like I could moments little things where it's like, oh yeah, I'm wanting to add things. I think for me, like I'm just like I feel relaxed hearing you say that. Like I just
Mm-hmm.
feel like, yeah, it's just like I just agree with you, you know? Like it's incredibly important work. I know you believe in that. I believe in that. It's like we're creating a new world,
Mm-hmm.
and you got to start with yourself. You know, it's developing that relationship with self and like looking inwards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, you were kind of looking at this today, sharing a story in your life that's been impactful for you of like something like this where the world is kind of nudging you towards looking deeper into yourself. What has that been like for you? Like what did that look like to get woken up to, hey, I need to actually turn inward?
Yeah, I mean, you're alluding to the fact that, like I was talking about navigating a lawsuit with an ex business partner. So I used to be a marketing automation consultant, and yeah, I got kicked out of the company that I helped build, and man, I just hated this guy so much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like for a long period of time, because even when I got noticed that it's like, hey, we're like ending your contracts, we're like just getting rid of your clients, we're kicking you out. This is just before COVID happened. Like I had a month transition, and I remember just being like, at that time, it's like I'm gonna try to do everything right, you know. So I talked well about the other consultants that I was like taking over for my clients, and like I put a button on everything. I transitioned everything, even though this guy was just kicking me out and just like, you're cut off, you're done. I was just like, I'm just gonna try to do this the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And then he proceeded to sue one of the other guys that he kicked out at the same time. He kicked out the executive team. And then I was concerned that he was going to come after me, but I'm like, I'm doing everything that I can to avoid violating the non compete. And yet, still, just as I was starting a work sabbatical, because I was working for another company for 6 months, and I was like, I was fed up, and I was like, I just need to take time for myself.
Mm-hmm.
This was also as I was in the beginning of my spiritual journey. It really started just before getting kicked out of the company.
Yeah.
And so I was about to have like my first mushroom trip, and then I was the next day going to an Airbnb cottage that I'd rented to kick off the sabbatical. And that morning I woke up and there's an email from his lawyer saying, "We're going to sue you."
Wow.
And I was just like fucking terrified. Like I just remember like my heart dropped. I was just in like total freeze and like terror.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, fuck. Like, how is this fucking happening? Like, I did everything right, like, and he's still coming after me.
Yeah.
And I navigated that for 6 months, and it was like the hardest 6 months. I wasn't working.
Mm-hmm.
And in that way, it's like I look back and I was like, oh, this is the worst timing but it was the best timing because
Yeah.
my morning practices, I put that in heavy quotes because it was probably like 4 or 5 hours and things like that, was just like being in the sauna, trying to find some type of equanimity.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying all different modalities at the time, so breath work and Joe Dispenza. And it wasn't until I started like being exposed to the work by Byron Katie, which is fundamentally looking at like the stories and the projections and the beliefs that you have, especially the negative ones that you have of other people, and then trying to flip the script and like see things from their perspective.
Yeah.
And when you have someone that you hate and that is like the number one villain in your life, like I remember feeling like this guy was like, it was my version of rape, like, cause he was like this big imposing, he had more money, more power. He had a big legal team. And I'm just like, I'm fucking here trying to defend my innocence. And I'm spending tens of thousands of dollars
Yeah.
to try to do this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then to have a spiritual practice, which was asking me and look at things from his perspective and like break your perspective and like come out of that victim story. They don't use that language, but
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
it was. I could just feel my no.
Of course.
For fuck no. Like this guy's evil. Like this guy is a perpetrator. He's like, what's wrong with the world? And I needed to just sit with myself and sit with that anger and sit with that hatred and then actually see things from his perspective. And I don't remember exactly what I wrote down, but it just like fucking broke me open. I just remember like it just, like I imagine it broke my heart open only because it's like it's this area of my body that I remember.
That you feel it. Yeah. Yeah.
And it was just like a shift. It's like one of those shifts for anyone that's had one. It's like an embodied experience. It's like a realization. It's much more somatic than it's not logical. It's not gut story or anything like that. But I just remember having that shift and just like, some like understanding and peace and many other things that also didn't totally make sense at the time. And it has been like an embodiment practice of how do I live that more and more. But like, it was really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And that's, you talked about avoidance in your letter to men. And that's the big thing is it's like, yeah, like it's, that's all I see nowadays, even more and more, is just like, how are we trying to protect ourselves from the outside world, from ourselves, because we have these inner critics and we have these embodiments of like all of the adults, whether it was like teachers that were telling you that you were stupid, or like whether it was parents that were telling you that you're wrong, be quiet, shut up. It's like we have internalized versions of all of those people to try to keep us safe and try to protect us from situations that were out of our control. But they just live on in perpetuity inside of ourselves, often invisible to us, to ourselves, because we just don't want to look at it. It's uncomfortable, It's like, and that's the thing to acknowledge. It's like, yeah, it's
super uncomfortable.
It's hard work, but if you're like, I say that in a way of like trying to embolden like the part of us that like want to do hard work.
Yeah, well, that's what I try to is like, this is what real courage is. We think like, oh, strength is not looking at your emotions, and like, I haven't watched that Manosphere movie,
Yeah.
but Andrew Tate, like I know for younger generations that there are many young growing men that are looking to that and thinking that that's truth, that like, oh, you can ignore your emotions. Oh, women want you to just be this like, egotistical powerhouse.
I get the appeal.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Like it makes sense. And this is the thing, like I was just thinking earlier today about like how many people are just in this judgmental mindset of like, they don't understand other people's point of views, but it's like, I guarantee if you put yourself in their shoes, it makes total sense.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. And that's the big piece I think you and I are both pretty good at is putting ourselves in the other person's shoes, to be like, because I can have compassion for the perpetrator in situations a lot of times, right? It's often pretty easy to have compassion for the victim. You hear the story and it's like, oh man, yeah, I feel empathetic for the pain that you're going through. And like in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh man, like the person that was doing that, that's their pain too.
Oh yeah.
You know, like that's what they're putting onto the world because they're so hurt and tense inside.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, like you said, we either resist these things, or this is what I learned in this Vipassana and saw, not just learned, but
Yeah.
experienced, where like I thought, I've been doing this work for like 9 years. I thought I was pretty good. Like I'm pretty grounded. I'm pretty relaxed. I can handle the waves of life pretty well. But when I sat with myself, even for just like a minute, I couldn't. It was like right away, the mind is thinking about the past. Oh, we should have done this different. You could have been better here. And then it's like, okay, I noticed that. Come back to the body. I get like 2 seconds of stillness. And then it's like, but what about the future? How are you going to handle these situations? And it's just like, holy, back and forth and back and forth. And yeah, resistance to like, I don't want to feel this way again. Or like, oh, these feelings are so good. I need them in my life. It's a craving. And it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, to see and experience how much of my life is still driven, how much of my mindset is still driven by those two polarities. And
Yeah.
it's like,
And you're not new to the work.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, and then I talked to the teacher who's been doing this for 45 years, and he's like, welcome to the jungle, baby. Like, this is it,
Yeah.
this is the work.
Yeah.
And it does get easier. It does,
Oh
like,
yeah.
even though it's still there, I'm not reacting like I used to, because I actually used to react in those ways. So the
Mm-hmm.
actions that I would be taking in my life would be these big swinging actions. And we see this in the men's group. Like I see this with guys I work with where their life, they're riding the pendulum, they're on it. And I used to be on this too, where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm in the shit and then I ride it and I'm in this high. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna do big things in life. Here we go. And then boom, ride it the other way. And I'm depressed and I'm not
Yeah.
talking to anyone. Now I'm a little more like walking that middle path and I can see the pendulum swinging in my life still, but I'm not riding it anymore. I'm like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay, things are uncomfortable. I can feel the discomfort, but I'm not over there being like, my life is messy. It's the worst. I'm not in that pain. And I see that, again, it's not always and it's not perfect. Like we live
Yeah.
together. We both see each other. Oh yeah, we're in the
And
crunchiness. We're in the craving, the desire. So
yeah.
yeah.
And I'm having a momentary brain fart as I was just like in total agreement with you.
Mm-hmm.
And I oh yeah, that's what I wanted to say, which was like I've noticed for me, like I've been a lot with the pattern of like exploring how like not enough drives so much of my own avoidance and
Yeah,
so
yeah.
much of like my negative patterns. And I am sure that's one of the reasons why I got driven to be into self development and start to do the work and go inwards, was actually because there's like a wound underneath that's like, I'm not enough. I need to change myself. I need to fix. I need to prove that I'm worthy of love.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a lot of people that are into spiritual work, into self-development work, that are also being driven by that pattern.
Yeah.
And that's what creates a lot of these wild swings, because it's like, oh yeah, you do work and then you feel good about yourself, and then suddenly I'm just not aiming for perfection anymore,
Yeah, yeah.
and I'm going to forget.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to remind myself again. But it's like, it's just a constant practice of getting better. You said like the guy's been doing it for 45 years. I'm sure he's not perfect either. He's
No, not at all.
constantly,
Yeah. He's
you know,
human.
he's human.
Yeah.
We have generations of trauma. We have all of this societal conditioning. And it's such an easy thing for us to be like, I'm hard on myself at
Yeah.
times
Oh yeah.
because I'm like, oh, I'm in a pattern again. Oh, I'm doing it. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, even though this is not only work that I'm passionate about and do all of the time in my own life, but it's the work that I do with clients now
Yeah. Yeah.
as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I should be better. And it's like, as soon as like now I'm getting better at like coming back to that, like, it's great as it is.
Mm-hmm.
There's always room for improvement, and that includes me. So it's just
Yeah.
not trying to be obsessed with perfection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I'm very similar in that, where it's like I want everything to be perfect. I'm recording things multiple times. I'm trying to make everything in my life, like even in my relationship, it happens so often where, you know, I don't even drop the ball. Like I'm providing so much in my relationship, but there's one little thing that I see like, oh, I missed this. And right away I'm like, oh man, I gotta be better. I gotta get better at this. And Gabby just looks at me like, okay, I hear you. If you want to get better, like I support you, and like you're doing amazing. You know, like I don't need that all the
You're
time.
stressing me out with you being hard on yourself.
Yeah. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I know a lot of guys are doing that, and what what you said and what brought up, you know, yeah, the teacher who's been doing it for 45 years, and he's still, you know, imperfect and experienced in this. But what was refreshing for me to hear him say, and that I got like a little taste of myself, is the story and the emotions actually like don't matter as much, you know. And that's something that I was like, wow, I've been kind of caught up in that for, you know, at least the last like 5 6 years, of like, that's the most important thing. Like, we need to look at the story, we need to look at the emotions. That's how we're gonna change things, is to like rewrite it into the story that we want. And that's a lot of work I see people doing, you know, like repeating mantras, telling yourself the vision that you want, and like then you'll create it by like repeating it, and that's how you get into the unconscious. And it's like, no, what they're telling you in this practice is how you get to the unconscious is through the sensations in your body, through observing the sensations. That, and a perfect example is like, I get a little itch on the side of my face, and like before I know it, I'm itching. So that's my like unconscious mind. Which again, another piece they share, the teacher Goenka shared in there, is like the unconscious mind is never unconscious. It's always conscious. It's just like our response to it that's unconscious. And so noticing that, where like when I'm in a meditation, like, oh, my hand would be like here, and I'm like, oh no, I'm not gonna allow that, and bring it back down. And it's like, oh, that's rewiring the pattern that is like happening in the unconscious mind, so that when I come out into life, it's like, oh, you know, I had a mosquito in the forest, and it was like less than a second, like it was biting me, and boom, my reaction was kill. And I had taken a vow that I would not kill during my time there. And at the beginning, they're like, you know, these ones are easy: don't kill, don't steal, don't lie. Like, how are you going to do that when you're in here? And I was like, well, I did it. Like, I killed. And, you know, I'm not going to beat myself up for that. It's like, okay, I'm human. But that was a cool thing. I didn't kill again. A mosquito came another time. And it's just like, hey, dude, I don't want this right now. So, like, I'm going to ask you to leave. You know, just like shoving it off a little instead of killing it. But again, it's like, that's how deeply ingrained the pattern and response is for
Mm-hmm.
me. And shifting it is actually through the sensation in the body. And that's just like revolutionary for me, because it's changing the way that I work. I haven't worked with my clients yet since I got home, but I know that it's changing the way that I'm going to
What's
bring that
stopping
to
you?
them.
Go faster, dude. Come on, get after it. Man, you're relaxing too much now.
We'll see tomorrow, but um now I'm just thinking like, oh, I should ask like some sort of profound question to keep this conversation going in
Isn't
some
that a
way.
fun? You're just noticing that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Natural pause. I made a joke.
Yeah. It's like, okay, now what? um Now what though? This is the real thing. Um yeah, I mean, I like in your story, you know, you talked about the anger you felt, and the like hatred and these emotions that you experience. And how do you feel now towards that when you look at it? Because you've this is kind of years apart, and you've done some work.
Mm.
And so how does that feel in your body now when you look at it, and how are you relating to it? And like, how did you move through that anger?
Yeah. I mean, I love the question. It's interesting because, like, telling the story now, it's almost like I need to put myself back in the hatred mode.
Yeah.
So, in some ways, I kind of like, I'm like, how was I actually feeling? I fundamentally disagree with what this guy did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't think that these are the actions that someone should take.
Yeah.
And yet, at a very like karmic level, I'm like, man, that was like my biggest teacher.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so, for me, I can have gratitude that I went through that experience, because I know I wouldn't be where I am today without that. It's just like the consulting job was like too cushy. It was like too good,
Yeah.
too comfortable
Yeah.
for me to, I think, say no. And I don't know for sure, but that's where I look at it. It's like everything happened perfectly,
Mm-hmm.
including going through going through the thread of that lawsuit. And like some of the actually recent changes is when I would tell that story, as I would say the lawsuit.
Mm.
And that's actually not what happened. It
Mm.
was always the threat of the lawsuit.
Mm.
And so even the mind, it's just like I was constantly always putting myself, I'm in a lawsuit, like this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
And so in many ways that kind of created like a reality of, it's like I'm in a lawsuit with this guy. And if I'm being totally factually accurate, it's like it was always the threat of a
Mm.
lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I spent tens of thousands of dollars defending myself, and I had to get a lawyer and navigate that for 6 months, and it was super stressful. But I just made life miserable because of the way that I related to it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, so I was just in the mental loops of hating this guy. But nowadays, I don't really think about him a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like he was just, I could not like spend 10 minutes without thinking of how much I hated this guy for like 6 months, you know,
Yeah,
and how
yeah.
much I wanted to get back at him.
Mm-hmm.
And then now, like occasionally I will drive down Riverside, and his other company, which is a tech company, has got like the billboard on like one of these on one of these on one of the buildings. And I actually like driving by it and just being like, thanks, man.
Yeah.
And that feels
It's like gratitude.
yeah, and it's like a kind of a cheeky gratitude, if I'm being honest with
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
It's like, you know, there's still the knowing the impact that he had on me and other people's lives, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
and then disagreeing with that, and it's like, oh, I hope that you're changing, and
Mm-hmm.
that you're treating people differently. But it's also, it's like, it's his business. It's like, I'm clean with it. If he enters my life in some other way, then I'll deal with it at that time. But I just look at it as like, thank you for being a teacher for me for a period of time. I'm moving on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so yeah, it feels pretty clean to me. And then the thing that I've known with healing is, and then sometimes these things have deeper layers. So I don't want to convince myself that it's like I've totally resolved everything,
Yeah.
but it feels very clean to me. And if at some point in time I'm in a medicine journey,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm doing work on someone else, or like, you know, it might come up between us, and I'm like, oh shit, I still have some work to do
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
on this
It's the
relationship.
spiral, right?
It's the
like,
spiral.
yeah.
It's just deeper layers. But it's like, I'm not trying to chase that next breakthrough, or assume that it's like, oh, I got everything figured out, or oh, is this resolved? I'm just
You're
like,
not like attached to the situation.
it'll come up
Yeah.
if and when it comes up.
Yeah.
And for me, mostly it's just like, it feels neutral.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, thanks for being a teacher. Happy to not have you in my life anymore. Not looking to spark a friendship up. I hope you're behaving differently now.
Yeah.
But that's not my business.
Yeah. Yeah. While you were talking, it made me think. So yeah, what the teacher shared with me is that like when we act from that space of craving or aversion, oftentimes that's where a lot of these things happen in life, where it falls apart, because it's like we went into the thing with like so much of that, like, I need this, or like, I need to do this because I have to resist
Yeah.
that. And I wonder if like going into that company and forming that and being in that stage of their life, is there anything you see now that was driving that was that? I know you mentioned like the karmic piece. There's things that are unseen that contributed to that, but is there anything that you, when in reflection, can see directly of like, oh yeah, I was like very much in a, like, for me, going into my job and going into everything, when I went into addictions, it was like, yeah, craving the status, craving the
Oh, yeah.
ego, you know?
Well, definitely. Like, I just look at that whole period of time, like, because just like when I got kicked out of the company, I had just moved into my first house that I'd bought.
Mm-hmm.
So I got married a couple years before, and
Mm-hmm.
so in many ways, I felt like I had gotten. I literally was like, I think a month before I got the notice of getting kicked out of the company. So this is 9 months before the lawsuit. But at that time, I had this moment of like being in the home that I just bought. I'm like looking out at the first snowfall
Yeah, yeah.
of the winter, and I'm reading my first spiritual book at that point. It's called
Mhm.
Awareness by Anthony DeMello. I highly recommend it for anyone that's getting into this stuff. It's not woo or dogmatic or anything like that. It's brilliant. But I'm there in my chair, and I just have this moment of peace, because I'm like, I've done it.
Mhm.
I think I was exactly 30 at that point. I'm like,
Mhm.
by 30, I have like, I'm making over $300,000 a year in
Mhm.
my consulting gig. Like, I have control over my schedule. I mostly like the work that I do. I have to acknowledge that at that point in time, I was starting to get like bored with it.
Yeah, yeah.
you know, but it's like it worked for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm married to someone that I love, and I just lived like I just moved into my house.
You
So I like
built the American dream.
yeah, American Canadian dream.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I had this actual like moment of peace where I'm just like, oh wow, like I did it. And like the next, it wasn't so much a thought as it was like a feeling. It's like, oh, I feel like things are gonna shift.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got kicked out, and then like everything happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, it just felt like it's like I was deep in comfort. And
Mm-hmm.
for sure, there was like an aspect of the work as a consultant that was comfortable, and also like I like being able to say like, hey, I'm making like multiple six figures,
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
know, and like I can go to a dinner party,
Status.
yeah, status, and I can go to a dinner party and then someone can be like, oh, what do you do? And I can say something
Yeah.
and like feel pretty confident about it. And I
Mm-hmm.
had all the hallmarks, like I'm married, I got a you know, like I had those things, and
Mm-hmm.
so um, all of those things have now shifted. The house is gone, the partner, the wife is gone, and the job is gone.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, yeah.
and that was deeply uncomfortable. And I'll just add this as a footnote. The thing that I can recognize as well is that there were micro resentments before getting kicked out of the company.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like even though I didn't verbalize it to him, it's like I would run things differently. There was a lot of things like hidden resentment,
Yeah.
things that like I was judging him for
Yeah, yeah.
that I wasn't open and communicating and being direct with.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not going to change the past or anything like that, but like moving forward, it's like, oh, those are things that I want to engage directly
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
people that I work with, like being in integrity, as opposed to like talking behind someone's back,
Mm-hmm.
even if I'm not doing anything, gossiping and like thinking poorly about someone and speaking poorly about someone. I just look at it as just being like something that I'm not engaged with, or I don't want to engage with. It's
Yeah.
just like I know that that's
Trying to catch yourself when you are.
yeah,
I mean, we talked about that on our walk
yeah,
yesterday in a vein of itself, right? Of like, and that was something when we got back, I felt so grateful for. Of like, wow, I'm so happy that we can have conversations about this. Of like, yeah, here are the judgments I'm having about why I'm, better than you, and you're having judgments about why you could do things better than me. And it's like,
mm-hmm,
instead of us both being in that resentment, which sometimes we are, sometimes we don't talk and we keep that in and we feel the like grind against each other. But
mm-hmm,
yesterday we practiced talking about things, and it's so beautiful to be in a relationship where we can do that, because coming out of that, I feel, oh yeah, the knots that exist there are like unraveled. There's a little more flow between us, a little more
yeah,
connection and less tension, and that's the type of relationships I want to cultivate, and that's the type I want to like help other people cultivate, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
And one thing I'm going to add to that, because it just makes me think of like, and this works for me. It's like I can be selfish about it.
Yeah, yeah,
And so that was the same thing that I realized, like forgiving. This guy was almost going to say his name.
yeah, yeah,
We'll see
yeah,
if I
yeah,
say it in the future.
yeah.
is uh is like I also understood that, oh, me forgiving him is totally about my peace and equanimity.
Mm-hmm.
He has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, yeah,
Because otherwise I don't know what's operating in his experience, but he
yeah,
was like fucking dominating my mind.
yeah, yeah.
And so
Living
it's
rent free in there. What does
living
Goggins
rent.
say about
Oh
it?
yeah,
Like, yeah,
it's
yeah.
just like, and I'm causing all of this pain and suffering by having him here. So I'm just like, let me forgive you for my own sake. You
Mm-hmm.
know, be
Mm-hmm.
totally selfish about it. In the same way that, like, you know, with the way that we relate to each other, it's like I love the deepening of the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other thing that I can be too is like, I'm not going to expect that you can always hold me in that, or that I'll hold you in the way that you bring yourself
Yeah, yeah,
or other people. But like, I can be selfish, and it's like, it's about me.
yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
like about my integrity. It's about how I want to live my life. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not going to give you the power to like accept or reject me or anything like that. Like that's my shit.
Yeah, and that to me, like, to come back is like so masculine, to have compassion and love for other people's experiences, but to have a strong enough spine to hold yourself in integrity with your own values as well. Because sometimes those things clash together, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, I can have compassion and and understanding of your experience, and I'm not going to tolerate that behavior in my life, and it's going to be a hard boundary,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not going to like get in, and that's like, oh, that's so much. When I say it, I'm like, oh, there's such a like beautiful feeling of
I get
power in
aroused.
that. Yes, that's it, dude. I do. Yeah. Yeah, it is arousing. It feels like that like nice dark powerful energy of like, yeah, I'm vibrating in love, and I'm also like, fuck no, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to end.
Aroused.
Yeah. Always finish in a state of arousal. Well, I think, yeah, there's an aspect of like how we relate to someone, how our nervous systems are when we like terminate a connection is like how our body remembers. So that when we like come together again, it's like that was the last thing that was there. So it's like, oh, if we're always like finishing on arousal, come back, it's like, oh yeah, let's go, like ready for life, yeah, there's a couple other pieces I want to say, but let's go work out.
Oh yeah, let's go work out.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. As always, smash that like button, follow us, share this with people you love. Gotta say the things that people say. No,
it does matter. It makes a difference.
Yeah, it does really matter, and conversations like this are important. So share it. Much love to you all. Keep doing the good work, and see you again soon.